What's up guys, the Fitted Ice Flips here with a new video finally. Today with, oh my god, the Morse and Vulp comparison versus whatever you want to call it. And my laptop is back, so it works now. I don't know if you saw on Instagram. But before starting with these two, I had to show you this. This is the ZP Bison Bermuda mode. This thing is fucking loose. This thing, it's pretty damn good. It helps a lot with the balance and everything with the Bermuda. I was about to say Morse. I don't know if you can see, but fanning, they're a lot more even, and balance wise it's a little bit more balanced, even though it is still endo bias. This thing is fucking loose. Let me cook it down. Okay, now it's definitely better. But yeah, this thing changed the balance just a little bit. It still is endo bias, by the way, but you can also take out the weight to make it more endo bias, even though I don't really suggest that. But anyways, this thing is great. If you want to get a way better Bermuda, and if you want to make the Bermuda a little bit, I mean a decent, good, more balanced flipper, I would definitely suggest this thing. This is like $12, and you can buy it on a bunch of different colors, and you can also buy some Bali shoes, Bali socks, I don't know they're called, the one you put in the bottom to match it and to match the colors and everything. So yeah, I do suggest this thing a lot. That's it for that one. Now let's go into this by starting and saying stuff that I don't like about both of them. And I'm gonna start with the hardware. As you can see, this is a V1 hardware. That one too, they have the same exact hardware, and it's shit. This thing strips really easily and doesn't hold really well. And we're not gonna really talk about tolerances because guess what? They both had tap and play. Oop. Yeah, and it's alright. I mean, they still feel decent. Fuck you. But you know, still, hardware is pretty bad for both of them, and worse than clone hardware, in my personal opinion. But whatever. Another thing that I don't like are the Zempins. The Zempins are Loctited inside, like in place, so they're not press fit like a Kraken or anything like that. So these are basically put in with Loctite, with some factory Loctite. That's gonna be a lot less strong than press fit, so they're probably gonna fall off, like it happened to many people already. And you can put them back on by putting some more Loctite to it, and then just wait until the Loctite gets dry. But of course your Loctite is not gonna be as powerful as, or as strong as strong as factory Loctite, so it's probably gonna take less time to fall off again. If you're flipping outside and one of those fell and you can't find it anymore, you need to buy some new ones, and they're not in the shop, I believe. You can probably get some new ones because Nabalis is probably gonna give it to you. They're pretty good for customer service and just helping the customer, but it's still annoying in my opinion. That's one of the things that I really don't like about both of them. Now let's compare them. Let's start with design. Is not going to be your thing, whatever you prefer, I don't care, I don't mind either one. But feeling wise, the finish is pretty similar. I think it's like a B-Blast finish, if I'm not mistaken, but I might be. But The feeling are different though. The Vulp feels a lot more smooth, and the Morse feels a lot more sandy or dusty. It kind of reminds me of Falcon. The blade is going to be thicker on the Vulp, so the spine is going to be thicker on the Vulp compared to the Morse. My fucking god. I don't know if you can see, but it's slightly thicker. And that's basically chamfer. This one is chamfer 2. Grip wise, I believe the Morse is going to be better in terms of faces kind of grip. I mean, this side it's going to be more grippy on the Morse, because even though you have a bunch of details on the Vulp, as you can see, all those like machining thing, they're not that deep, and the bison overall is pretty rounded. Instead, the Morse is more squared and doesn't have roundness because it has this little lines right here, like cutouts kind of thing, but they're not really cutouts, but you know what I mean, those little thing right there, which gives, in my opinion, a lot more grip. Sideways grip, they're going to be both the same, kind of slippery because they both don't have anything on the side. Jimping wise, the Vulp is going to be a whole lot better because they're pretty deep and long, and this one, these are really like an X16 basically. The Vulp is going to feel a lot more rounded and thin, and that one is going to be, it's going to feel a lot more thicker and squared. Even though the Vulp, it's pretty squared, but it's pretty rounded on the edges, which is cool. Balance. The balance is going to be a whole lot different. The Vulp is going to be better balance. It's going to be more neutral than this one, but still with a slight handle bias. And the Morse is going to be handle bias, basically. And also the Vulp has a little bit more tip weight, which you didn't see. Yeah, it does have more tip weight than that one, and it's pretty decent balanced, I'm not gonna lie. And I believe that most people will prefer the Vulp balance wise than the Morse. Fuck you. And you too. Another thing that I was saying about the feeling is that the Morse is overall thick the same all the way towards the top to the bottom, like all the way. It's the same thickness. It doesn't tapers at all, which it does remind me a little bit of the Mako, which is a thing that I really like. The Vulp slightly tapers towards the pivot, whatever. I honestly prefer between these two. My personal favorite is the Morse. What? Yeah, everybody prefer the Vulp. I prefer the Morse. I'm a fucking dumbass. Probably. The Vulp is gonna be better for you. It's gonna be the better flipper. It's gonna come with better hardware, better whatever. All the tools you need, Loctite, lube, whatever the fuck you need. So that's great. But I don't like the feeling of this that much. I do like eye flips. The spring flips pretty good, but I don't like the roundness. So it feels good because it's rounded, so you don't have any sharp edges, so you're not gonna cry when you're flipping this thing. But at the same time, it's a little too rounded, and in my opinion, sometimes it's better to have something more rough that gives more grip rather than having something more rounded that it's more comfortable but lacks on grip sometimes. That was a really bad aerial. Yeah, fuck off. Compared to this, which has the really like cuts, aggressive cuts on the side, you do have more grip, and even though this thing is more handle bias, so fanning should be harder to get, it's gonna be easier because you have those kind of cutouts on the handles. It's gonna feel like it's dragging a little bit more, but still, this thing still fans great, still does the rollovers great. You have a whole lot more to hold on to, and it's pretty fun to flip. The reason why I prefer this one is how the handles are made. And I believe this hardware is the same exact hardware, so you can probably buy a V2 hardware and put it here and in the Morse too. So compared to clones and other buy songs from Amazon, well, I think that you can find better stuff like the Comet, the ATEX, I don't know all the names. We have stuff from Marcolo. You have the new Artsy trainer that she made that you can actually sharpen up and make a real buy song. Or you have stuff like the Falcon, which is not a clone, on AliExpress. So you have stuff like actual clones, and you can probably find better than that. I think they're pretty good. I like them. This one is more fun. This one is gonna be better. But the thing is, I think that this is a little too overrated. It's really good. It's really good. But there is stuff, you can find better stuff. I think just the fact that, you know, it was made by Will Ursh and Nabalis, and all of that kind of hype created about it, make it like look like the best thing in the world. And it is pretty good, but it's not the best thing in the world, you know. Neither for the price. You can find better stuff for the price, but it is good. So that's my opinion on that. And yeah, so this is it, and thank you guys for following, and see ya bro, see you in the next one. Bye guys.